missile strikes and drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria. It's not a distant scenario. It's a possibility that military planners are considering seriously tonight. The idea alone sends a ripple of urgency through Washington, Baghdad, and Damascus. Why? Because the consequences of such an attack are immediate, unpredictable, and potentially far-reaching. It's a window into the volatile intersection of strategy, regional tensions, and the global balance of power. The first element to understand is the U.S. military presence in Iraq and Syria. For years, American forces have been stationed across the region to counter ISIS, support allied militias, and provide intelligence and logistics to partners. These bases, while often underreported in the headlines, are critical nodes for operations in the Middle East. They allow the U.S. to project power, monitor adversaries, and respond rapidly to emerging threats. But this strategic advantage comes with inherent risk. Proximity to Iranian-backed forces and an increasingly assertive Tehran makes these bases prime targets. Iran's approach in the region has been deliberate and multifaceted. Tehran has cultivated a network of proxy militias and political allies across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. These forces serve as a strategic deterrent, enabling Iran to project influence without committing its conventional forces. From Tehran's perspective, an attack on a U.S. base would not just be military, it would be symbolic. It would signal both capability and resolve, demonstrating to regional rivals and domestic audiences alike that Iran can act decisively if provoked. Over the past months, tensions have escalated through a series of proxy clashes, targeted strikes, and economic sanctions. Each incident raises the stakes, making miscalculations more likely. A single strike tonight could trigger immediate retaliation, sparking a cycle of escalation that neither side can fully control. Military planners in Baghdad and Washington are acutely aware of this risk, knowing that even a limited attack could rapidly expand into a broader confrontation. It's also critical to understand the geography and political environment. U.S. bases in Iraq are situated within a complex web of sovereignty and local politics. Baghdad must balance its relationship with Washington against domestic pressures and Iran's influence. Syrian bases, often in contested territories, including Russian forces, local militias, and foreign mercenaries. The unpredictability is high. From a strategic standpoint, Iran's calculus would consider multiple dimensions. The country must weigh the benefits of demonstrating strength against the risk of provoking a U.S. military response. Tehran is unlikely to act without a clear signal that the costs of retaliation are manageable. Yet, history shows that in high-stakes environments, proximity, perception, and miscommunication all play a role in these tense calculations. The potential U.S. response would also be immediate and multifaceted. Washington has emphasized a zero-tolerance approach to attacks on its personnel or facilities. This could include targeted airstrikes, missile defense countermeasures, or rapid deployment of reinforcements. The goal would be to neutralize immediate threats while signaling resolve. However, such a response carries its own risks. Escalation, civilian casualties, and regional destabilization are all possible outcomes. The speed of modern military operations leaves little room for error. Allies and regional powers are watching closely. Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE have their own security calculations, and Gulf states, while aligned with the U.S., are increasingly cautious about being drawn into direct conflict. Iran, in contrast, has its own network of regional partnerships and can rely on proxies to act in asymmetric ways. This web of actors makes the consequences of a strike extremely difficult to predict. The cyber dimension adds another layer of complexity. Both the United States and Iran have advanced cyber capabilities capable of disrupting infrastructure, communications, and military systems. In a scenario where bases are attacked tonight, cyber retaliation could unfold simultaneously, impacting not just military assets but also critical civilian infrastructure. This amplifies the stakes and expands the potential for unintended consequences. Economically, the implications are immediate. Persian Gulf, and any escalation could threaten oil transport, spike global energy prices, and disrupt trade. Even limited strikes would ripple through financial markets, increasing volatility and uncertainty worldwide. The economic consequences are not abstract. They are felt in real time, influencing policy decisions and strategic calculations. The human dimension is equally urgent. U.S. personnel, local contractors, and civilians in the region face immediate danger. Evacuation and emergency response plans are in place, but the psychological impact of potential strikes while avoiding unnecessary escalation. Looking at history, similar situations have occurred before. Iran's military capabilities have grown. U.S. forces are more technologically advanced and dispersed, and regional alliances are more complex. Past confrontations were often slower, allowing time for diplomacy or de-escalation. Today, the speed and precision of operations create a scenario where any incident could spiral rapidly. This is why analysts and military planners describe this as one of the most dangerous periods in U.S.-Iran relations. The capability, tension, and political pressure creates a scenario where a single strike could have cascading consequences. The unpredictability is not just theoretical. It is the reality military and diplomatic teams are preparing for tonight. We will explore the potential consequences of a U.S. base attack, how global powers might respond, and what this could mean for regional stability, international alliances, and the broader balance of power. The story is not just about a single night. It is about strategy, risk, and the high-stakes environment shaping the modern Middle East. The consequences would unfold almost immediately, both militarily and politically.